Federal Prosecutor Joe Moreno joins me. Nice to see you, Joe.
Greta.
I don't know where to start on these audio tapes. In 2017, he says on the tapes, they don't know I have them, meaning classified documents. 2017.
Weeks after leaving office as vice president, right? I think many people will focus on the mental acuity angle here, right? That we get to finally hear these tapes that the Biden folks I tried so hard not to make public.
Well, let me just start the mental acuity. He goes, gosh, pause, I can't think of it, which is something I might do. Maybe I have a mental acuity problem, but of course we're hypersensitive with him. I did notice it. I paid attention.
But you weren't running for president.
I'm not running for president. Not
serving
soon,
as president.
not this year.
But I think for those of us who are watching the legal case so closely, what just shreds the administration's credibility back then was that the Biden folks were so adamant that when they discovered these caches of documents in his office and in his home, right, in 2022, they immediately called the FBI and the National Archives, and they did the right thing, right? They were good guys, as opposed to that awful Donald Trump, right?
Well, they didn't. They did not do that.
Well, now
they
we
did
know
not
that
do that.
6 years earlier, they knew that they had these materials.
That was a lie.
And
that was a lie. That was a lie.
How egregious. And for them to now stomp their feet and say it's the Trump Justice Department that's weaponizing, we're just getting out the truth here that they sat on for so long.
Not only that, is that they watched with glee as Trump was being indicted for it, with glee and praising Jack Smith, knowing that in 2017, Biden's saying, and Biden knew it at least, he's saying it to his ghostwriter in 2017, I've got these documents, and they don't know I have them, which usually is another way to say that I know I have them.
You're the chief executive responsible for enforcing the laws of the United States, and shamelessly sick your pit bull Jack Smith on a former president, while you know darn well you're sitting on a cache of documents for years and years. Or even worse, maybe he didn't know. Maybe he actually didn't realize what he had done. Either way, it's really bad.
Well, I'll tell you another bad one. His lawyers now are saying, like, basically, how can you do this about a guy talking about writing a book about his son? It wasn't about his son. He's talking about classified documents. Even their latest, the spokesperson's statement was stupid. I mean, like I said, I don't know where to start. It's so bad.
I don't want to comment on the deceased son, other than the fact that people are very opportunistic when they use certain references when it means covering their own reputations.
But to say that, but everybody's. I mean, everyone in this town is guilty of so much hypocrisy. I get it. I live here. I see it every single day. But at least try not to be so obvious about it.
Again, so shameless. So you mean? I remember we're sitting here after they found out about this Biden documents. We said, there's no way they could possibly still prosecute Donald Trump, right, for the documents found in Mar-a-Lago. And sure enough, 6 months later, Jack Smith indicts Trump. And they were just absolutely happy to let that run its course. But
even Biden, as he's sitting here saying that we turned over what was in our garage next to the Corvette. I don't know when that was. And that was found in the office building downtown, which, they said it was a locked closet. You can use a credit card to open these locked closets in office buildings. We all know that. But the idea that in 2017, he says, they don't know I have them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, a first lieutenant in the military, a most junior lawyer in the government with a security clearance knows you don't do this stuff. But the president does it, doesn't seem to care.
Anyway, Joe Moreno, thank you.
Thanks, Greta.